Okay, let's move on to Harold in Florida. Harold, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex?
Yes, sir.
This is Harold. I haven't called you in a number of years. I listen on shortwave. I'm a senior citizen that's getting a little non-articulate, I'll say, but I do have about 99% agreement on everything you say. Medina, the Stack thing, the 9/11 truth, Oklahoma City, Glenn Beck, Ruby Ridge, Waco, the whole thing. When you go off the air on shortwave, I guess the switch will get cut off on my receiver like it has on my television. You always say you choose your battles, and I agree with that. You make tactical decisions. Some I can't quite comprehend, perhaps. But there is a question I'd like to ask, and I'm sure your friends out here, and me included, would like to hear. What's the difference, and I'm going to use the buzzwords, of not being a truther, or in your case, not being a birther, okay? I'd like to hear a comprehensive explanation from both you and Debra Medina. And
well, I tell you what, I don't even know her position on the birther thing, but the guys were in there watching a video of her on national TV getting slapped around by CNN. I don't know why people keep putting her on there. Stay there. I want to understand your question when we come back. Okay, Harold from Florida, specifically. You're saying, what's the difference between a birther and a truther? Explain that question for me.
That was not the question. The question was, I understand what Debra Medina said on her on the Limbaugh show about her stand there, and I consider that her stand was despicable. Okay, but as far as being whether she was a truther or not, as to use those words, I don't understand, however, and this is your program, you can throw me off, you pay the bill, but I don't understand your position on your stand where you said, I am not a birther. I believe the Barack Obama presidency is a total fraud, and I see a comparison here between her not being a truther and you not being a birther.
Yeah.
Hold just a second. Article 2 of our Republic Constitution, Section 1, says that the president has to be a natural-born citizen.
All right, well, let me stop you. I understand the question now, and it's a good question. Number one, we've had Phil Berg on here repeatedly. We had him on back when this wasn't even on the radar screen during the campaign, okay? And I do think there's a cover-up going on. I've said I don't know, and I've said I think it's legitimate. But I can't call myself a complete birther because I don't know. Something like 9/11, I have so much evidence. And it does appear that he's not. We know his real name was Barry Soetoro. We know he did go to these Muslim schools in foreign countries. And the media would poo-poo that a year ago, right after he got in office. And so one of the first places people heard about the birth certificate issue was here. Okay, and I also had, who's the guy that wrote The Late Great USA on over and over again about it? I'm having one of those moments. Dr. Jerome Corsi. I have had constant. I just don't hammer it because I can prove he's lying about torture, that he wouldn't do it, or hiring lobbyists, or new wars, or the Patriot Act that he would get rid of. And so in Fall of the Republic and in Obama deception, we don't get into that because I wanted it to be things that were 100%. Now, you're missing the boat here. I am not criticizing Debra Medina for saying that 9/11 truthers are despicable. That's pretty bad. The issue is she said that we were good, healthy people asking serious questions. She has questions about the towers. We have a right over and over and over and over again, daring back after back, and then flip-flopped. It's flip-flopping. I've always said I don't know about the birth certificate. There's a lot of evidence, but they're covering it up, that he isn't a citizen. So if I wasn't clear on that, I'm sorry. But it's a totally different issue. Now, what do you say to that, Harold?
Okay, you've had Rick Perry for 14 years, and
10.
You know where he stands. Debra Medina, I agree. I was very disappointed to hear her say what she said. I was very disappointed to hear you say you were not a birther. She said she's not a truther.
No, I don't.
So, you know, what I'm saying here is I would like to hear a real comprehensive airing of both of these stands personally.
Well, let me ask you a question. When did you hear me say I've said I wouldn't call myself, I remember saying that, a complete birther, saying a birther believes he wasn't born here. I'm saying there's a cover-up, and it may be true, and we've investigated. I've only said I'm investigating. And I just don't think you even heard what I just said to you. It's the saying 9/11 truth is a legitimate research position, and then saying it's despicable a week and a half later. That's my issue, sir. And I've been saying that since yesterday. That's why I'm concerned. But you know what? I've already meant to do this. I want to get Phil Berg back on. We have a video interview we've done that I want to put up for PrisonPlanet.tv members. Just we're bogged down trying to finish up Burmes's film. It's an excellent film. We're just on that. And I have actually been doing research. See, I'm not sure about Joseph Stack, but a lot of evidence points towards it being an inside job with the kamikaze attack. So we're looking at that. I wasn't sure for a week or so about the underwear bomber. That doesn't mean I'm not saying it couldn't be an inside job. We're here collating the information. But I appreciate your question, Harold. And you're specifically saying you'd like to hear Debra Medina on her website or on this show or some other show give a complex, detailed answer like I just gave on the birther issue. And I think that's totally legitimate. But you're missing the forest for the trees, though, on why I'm concerned. And nothing to do with whether she's a 9/11 truther or not. And I've been saying that since yesterday when I broached this subject. More calls, tons of news straight ahead.